Hi, everybody. Today we're talking about a little different subject, which is financial scams against the elderly. And the reason that they were doing this is because I was the subject of one of these scams yesterday, and it made me so angry that I have to share it with you today. And I'm asking you to share this video with other people because these things happen. Our parents, older adults, they get taken advantage of financially, and there's nothing that can be done after the fact. Stay with me for the caregiving chat of the day. I'm Pamela Wilson. For the past 20 years, I have helped caregivers and aging adults solve caregiving problems. And I do that today through my website, PamelaDWilson.com, my radio program, The Caring Generation, that airs every Wednesday evening, my Roku TV channel, Caregiving TV, and other information on my website. I made some notes here today so I don't miss anything, but yesterday, I get a call from Xcel Energy, which is our local electric company here in Denver. And I have caller ID on my phone, and Xcel Energy is programmed because we live in Colorado, and many times, because we live in the mountains, our electricity goes out because of snow or wind or something else. So I have Xcel Energy programmed into my phone so that I can call them when our power goes out. So a call comes in from Xcel Energy, and there's a recorded voice that says, "Stay on the line. We are calling to tell you that we are disconnecting your electric service and you need to make a payment." So of course, I stayed on the line. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what happened? So this gentleman named Benjamin comes on the line and he says, "Well, Miss Wilson, we have a driver on the way to your house at this address, and he's coming to shut off your electricity." Well, my first thought is, if you're going to shut off my electricity, you don't need somebody to show up. And then he goes on and he says, "It's because you didn't pay your bill." And I said, "Well, that's impossible because I have auto pay." And he said, "Well, you didn't pay your bill last month and you didn't pay your bill this month." And I knew that my bill this month wasn't due for another week. So I said to him, "My bill this month isn't even due." And he went on and he said, "Well, we need you to make a cash payment. We need you to drive downtown. Can you do that?" And that like raised my spidey senses, because I was a financial power of attorney for clients for years. There's a couple things I know about Xcel Energy, and it probably applies to other electric companies, but they send notices, and they send a lot of notices if you forget to pay your bill. And they always let you make payment arrangements. So they're not going to just have somebody show up at your house, say that they're going to turn a switch and turn your power off, or threaten you that you have to pay cash. So I went along with this, and he said, "Well, can you drive downtown?" And I said, "No, I'm not driving to downtown Denver. What are you thinking?" And he said, "Well, then we're going to have to shut your power off." And I said, "Well, is there anything I can do to, make arrangements with this?" And he said, "Well, you need to make a cash payment." And I said, "Well, why can't you, take a credit card or payment over the phone?" And he said, "Well, those don't post for 24 to 48 hours, and we need to know that your bill is paid." He went on to say, "Well, you can go to Walgreens or Office Depot, and there is a card there called a money pack." He said, "You have to go get cash out of your bank and go to Walgreens and go buy this money pack card at Walgreens and tell them that you are paying your electrical bill. And then you call us back and tell us that you've done it." He even went to the extent of giving me the name of the driver and the phone number of the driver. And he also gave me like a ticket number, like normally they do if there's a trouble ticket. And he said, "Well, if this is the problem, if your bank or somehow if that payment didn't get posted to the right place, we will give you 2 months free on your electric bill." And I'm thinking, nobody does that. And my other thought was, well, if there needed to be an investigation, you should do the investigation before you're calling me. Then he also said, "We sent you an email." I said, "Well, what email address do you have on file for me?" He had some kind of crazy email that wasn't even right. And he said, "Well, didn't you get our letters in the mail?" And I said, "No." And I thought, well, sometimes our mail does get lost. Maybe it didn't show up. But he basically said, "You have 90 minutes to do this." And I'm like, okay. So I get off the phone, of course. I call my bank to verify that the payment went through. I call Xcel Energy And of course, my account is current. And I was talking to this lady and I said, why are you not telling people about this? You know, if I was an older person, I probably would have gone and made the payment because I may not have realized that my July bill wasn't due for another week, that because of my experience as a financial power of attorney, I know that utility companies give people as many extensions as possible and they make payment arrangements, but the normal person wouldn't know all this. And the normal person probably wouldn't think, well, I'm going to hang up, let me call my bank, let me call the electric company back, let me verify this information, because it was a scam. I have gotten other letters, similar thing from water companies, saying that we're sending you a letter because we know that there is a fracture in the water line coming from the main road to your house. And by the way, it's $10,000 to get this repaired and you have to call us at this number. Well, we live in the mountains. We're on a well. There's no water line to my house. But again, if I wasn't cognitively aware, if I was older, maybe a little foggy, I would believe it. I can tell you that I never called the phone number that he gave me because scammers like this that can make things look so realistic, the minute that you call that number, they download everything off your phone. Other types of scams, internet scams. You know, my point is for older people and really for everybody. If somebody calls you and starts saying that your bill is late or there's something on your account, I've had people call and say, you know, you have this past due bill. Can you verify your account number? My statement to them is, you're calling me. If you don't have my account number, I am certainly not going to give it to you. And then, of course, they hang up. My warning to everybody is, you know, if somebody calls you and they start asking you for information, ask for their number and let them know that you will call them back. More than likely, you'll never get to them. Or call, like I did, call your electric company, your water company, your credit card company. Call to verify the information before you give them any information about yourself, even if they have some of the information, because this Excel scammer had my address. He obviously had my phone number. He had my account number. So these scammers, especially this one, they're advanced. They know what they're doing. They know to have enough information to get people to trust them and think that they're reliable. And in no way are they. He could have gotten $500 cash from me yesterday. I'm sure he probably did from hundreds of other people. I reported this today to the Denver District's Attorney Office, and I'm going to call them later and talk about it. But these are things that have to be publicized. If you've never had the experience of this before, it makes you easy prey. It makes it easy to happen to you. And this just sets me off, especially when it comes to older people who have limited incomes or anybody who is easily taken advantage of. There's a lot of the same scams on the internet, programs that promise to, you know, that your computer has a bug and it needs to fix all this stuff and you need to sign up and give them a credit card. No, do not do any of that. The more important thing is if this happens to you, make sure that you report it to the police, report it to your local district attorney office. Don't just let this go, because if this video, if my call to the Denver DA office today can stop even one person from being taken advantage of by this scam or a different scam, then this video this time was well worth it. In this video post, there is a link to an article on my website. I am amazed that I have articles about everything, but this article is about financial exploitation of the elderly. Please share this video. Please read that article. Please be careful when people call you. Be careful of internet scams, people showing up at your house saying your roof is falling apart and it needs to be fixed. I have had clients over the years who have given money to lotteries and charities and who've almost lost their homes because of the promise of, oh, give us $10,000 and you'll make 25. Give us $10,000 and you will own property in Canada. It's not real. I'm Pamela Wilson. My website is Pamela D. Wilson. There is a lot of helpful information there, including information about financial scams against the elderly. Take care. Have a fabulous day. I will see you tomorrow.